You're watching TelecomTV's coverage of Mobile World Congress 2015, and I'm joined now by Paolo Campoli of Cisco. Paolo, thanks for speaking with TelecomTV. How is Cisco helping the mobile operators in terms of virtualized services?
Well, you need to consider what the virtualized service journey is about. It's definitely about having more agility in the way you construct service, you deliver service, you do fast prototyping. It's about having resource flexibility, so being much less bound to a given architecture and be more flexible in how you redefine your architecture as a function of services. And it's about cost savings. So we are trying to help them on all the three fronts. The first one is become a more agile operator. So virtualize packet core, virtualize intelligence, so that you can do faster service creation and really implement on resources that are not hardwired. We're helping them in cost savings, so making much better use of hardware by resource pooling, by virtualizing and orchestrating, and we are helping them to become effective in the way they go to market with a combination of physical and virtual instances of solutions and architectures. So it's about velocity, it's about cost efficiency, it's about a faster go-to-market.
So all of this is about helping those service providers transform their businesses?
Absolutely. When you think about the typical service creation cycle for a service provider today, it's anywhere between 8 to 16 months on average. When you look at what they could achieve by modularizing their operations in the back end, virtualizing resources, and really creating a factory where modules are highly replicable and highly reassemblable, this becomes a much faster time to market. So we move from months to possibly weeks, if not days.
What are some of the early usages of NFV that we're starting to see in the mobile industry?
Well, I would say probably the first example we had here exactly 12 months ago, right? The Mobile World Congress was Virtual Packet Core. Actually, Cisco was among the first, if not the first, really launching Virtual Packet Core in production with real-life customers. And the driver for that has been around the two lines of agility, but also having specific solution for, say, machine-to-machine or the Internet of Things, where you need virtualized packet core, where instances can be almost created on the fly and can be deployed on a per customer basis or per tenancy basis. So that was the beginning. Today we have 49 products in the Cisco catalog that are available both as virtual and physical. So we virtualize 49 product families out of the Cisco catalog. The customer choice is primarily dictated by the way they balance use of hardware versus resource elasticity, but also by how well they want to define cross-domain orchestration. So when they have a cross-domain orchestration layer that is very agile, then having virtualized functionalities and virtual packet core is a perfect fit. You have agility in the orchestration layer and a fast way of creating, instantiating resources into the underlying layer.
And as we start talking about the evolution of mobile networks as we move towards 5G, just how far can SDN and NFV progress in the network?
Well, it's interesting because I had the chance to meet here at the Mobile World Congress with probably, 15, 20 different customers back to back, pretty hectic. And I start seeing kind of two extremes, right? So one extreme is very, very pragmatic, and they say, okay, we have proven network function virtualization, it works, but what I want to avoid is to have the same complexity I have today on hypervisor virtual machine. Because in reality, what I get with that is maybe better use of hardware resources, but it's the same mess, quote unquote, on hypervisors. And that's one pretty pragmatic extreme. The other extreme is, which is the more visionary, is in 2 years, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, I want to have a catalog of resources. This could be base station, baseband resources, could be virtual packet core gateways, could be GI LAN functionality that I assemble in a very factory-oriented model, so where each building block has standard interfaces, can be virtualized, created on the fly, and I define my service chain in a very agile, versatile way. And that's my new way of producing services. So to the first camp, our answer is, you're perfectly right. What you want to avoid is to do the same stuff you have today in terms of complexity on hypervisors. So let's redefine the notion of how you operate a network into a virtualized environment, the notion of redundancy, of reliability. Let's modularize operations and create a journey that will bring you much more effective use of resources. To the latter is actually the camp with whom we are developing 5G. So when you think about 5G, we believe programmability and virtualization will be a key ingredient into that, because you start having distributed resources that you can assemble and invoke very much on demand and on the fly.
And can you tell me more about the deal you've announced with Deutsche Telekom about virtual managed services?
Yeah, the announcement yesterday with Deutsche Telekom was particularly significant because it's about what we call cloud VPN. So cloud VPN is the overall notion of taking a very successful model we implemented with service providers for the last 12, 15 years, which is the joint go-to-market model, where we basically drive demand on the enterprise side, given our enterprise footprint. We work with service providers and we deploy VPN, customer premise equipment, firewall, load balancers, layer 4 to layer 7 on-premise, and we deliver managed service. And we're moving that model to a almost completely, if not completely, virtualized model, where actually the notion of the CPE itself, the customer premise equipment, is fundamentally built on network function virtualization. The notion of intelligence becomes way more elastic, so you can deploy intelligence on-premise, in the local point of presence, in a centralized or distributed data center. And the beauty of that, you start seeing the business outcome of network function virtualization. You have this managed service model where, first of all, truck rolls are reduced by a factor of 3 to 4. You start having a model where upselling new services to the enterprise becomes a software-based process. So you activate license and you upsell new services. And you have a model where actually, as the control is primarily cloud-based, this becomes highly replicable across market segments and geographies, which better economy of scale. So this is the essence of the cloud VPN launch we did with Deutsche Telekom. And when you consider that, a key ingredient is network function virtualization. The other key ingredient is the ability to leverage cloud control for a highly replicable managed service model.
Paolo Campoli, thank you very much.
Thank you.